Welcome to the greatest artists in the world. I am your host Darren Huewendorn. My guest is world-renowned artist John Pylypchuk, author of such artworks as "You Are the Sweetest Heart in Anyone's Chest," "I Would Forgive You If I Could, Dear," and "Suck My Balls, Fatty."
Hello Darren, and thank you. It is great to be here. Would you like to suck my balls?
No, I am good, but thanks. You make wonderful artwork, and a good point. Why is it that I have the unrestrained desire to suck your balls?
Well, a lot of people want to. I am, after all, the greatest living artist.
Your work is whimsical and childlike. Where does this imagery come from? What is your relationship to the whimsical?
Darren, I take offense to this. Fuck. My work is rooted in death and pain. When a child is reared with imminent death as a common element, and that child has a difficult time learning, they tend to manufacture a second world with which to make the first world tolerable.
Understood, but your application of text to these images is often crude. I find the text to be ham-fisted and trite. Wouldn't it make more sense for the text to convey a message of hope rather than a message of despair and loneliness?
I work without thinking. When this kind of dialogue comes out, I don't really know what form it will take. The language used is often harsh, but the reality that it expresses is one of frustration stemming from unavoidable loss.
How then does that translate to your new work? I have a difficult time engaging with it. Perhaps I miss the whimsical nature of your previous work.
Shit city Darren. I have a hard time believing that if I make some furry creatures I have to stick to them. What I tried to do in my recent body of work is disassemble familiar indicators. I wanted to use materials that I was unfamiliar with. I wanted to restrain the narrative. My previous work dealt with the potential loss of my parents. How a person deals with mortality before they have the ability to. If you haven't heard, I am now full orphan. I have cast off the shackles of fear that my parents will die. They are both fully dead now. It is time to move on. And if you don't get it, you are a moron.
I appreciate this, sir, but you are sounding a bit sour grapey about the fact that people don't appreciate your current work. Can you try and say that without being a crybaby? After all, as much as you think the world is out to get you, it is in fact indifferent. And by the way, you have been full orphan for 3 years now. The statute of limitations for me or the world to give any kind of a fuck is gone.
Okay, then isn't it important for an artist to grow? Isn't it important for an artist to explore new avenues of expression?
Baa-boo-hoo, John Boo-boo.
Hang on, give me a chance. The important thing is not what you make but how you come to making it. The fact that you don't have the capacity to see my advancement is your problem, not mine.
No, still sounds like a little crybaby. Love me world, why don't you understand me?
The art world has changed. There is an interest in the beautiful, the abstract. Narrative-driven work is out of fashion.
Bad work is out of fashion. You still sound a little like a crybaby. Shifting gears, let's talk about your drinking. You like to drink vodka and play online poker late at night. How does this inform your work?
My extracurricular activities have no bearing on this conversation about my work. Can we talk about materials? Can we talk about transforming everyday objects into characters to tell a story?
No.
It makes more sense to me, if we are discussing my practice, to look at the elements that make up what I do.
No, actually, I would rather hear about you putting a slice of pizza on your head while yelling at a colleague, or perhaps a funny story about you getting drunk and sticking your penis in a jar of mustard. These are the legendary things that make me actually want to talk to you.
Please Darren, those days are behind me. I have confined my drinking to late nights on the poker tables. I am sorry if this bores you, but this is my new reality.
Well, John, to be frank, it does bore me. If you don't make videos of yourself drunk, dancing and singing to Michael Jackson, I suppose we can continue on about your artwork a little more. Although I would suggest you take your balls out of your pockets and use them a bit. Oh, okay, tell me about your... Never mind, just say whatever you want. I will try and look interested. We only have about 3 seconds left.
Thanks Darren. I thought it might be interesting to approach this discussion from
Thank you for tuning in. Join me next week when my guest will be our superpower Thomas Halsego. Who has more balls than you, John?
Because he basically told Jeffrey Deitch and Marina Abramovich to fuck off. At that Mocha Gala?
Yes, John, he was drunk and has more balls than you. And he was invited to it, were you? I didn't think so. And in parting, dear John, I would suck them if I could find them. Good night.